Ooh, divine. Hello everybody, it's me, Farham. We're here with some Path of Exile 2, and today we're bringing a variance of our Ice Strike Tempest Bell Invoker Monk, tailored a bit more towards mapping. So I didn't want to make a complete new character be like, oh, just get Temporalis and use Blink and do this, and obviously that's the fastest way to map. I wanted to build something onto the Ice Strike build that was faster at mapping, but didn't take away from the essence of that build. So we've done something with Flicker Strike, of course, and Blink, giving up all semblance of control of the character, handing over everything to the game. Just take us where you want us to go. That'll be fine. It's fast enough. So, gonna go over the skill changes. There's a couple of changes to the passive tree, but we'll go over it in full. We're going to go over the skill gems in detail because there's quite a lot of changes there. We've made a significant number of changes, and at the moment, this is running on the high budget gear that I've got. If people are interested, I can put together a low budget version of this as well. But if you're running towards the end of the Ice Strike journey that we've been going on, then and you just want to go faster in maps, find the rituals, find the breaches faster, then this is certainly a way to do that. At the end, there'll be two showcases. I'm going to showcase this on a bad base map, so that's somewhere with lots of doors where Flicker Strike doesn't work very well. I'm going to showcase this on a very open map, so you can see the difference of how it operates between maps. We're also going to talk a little bit before we go into any of the gear about what you shouldn't do with this build. Now, get Flicker Strike on to get everything working. We've dropped, even with this high budget gear, we have dropped a significant amount of damage. What does this mean to us? This basically means that some map modifiers have become do not run for this build. In fact, one in particular. That is increased ailment threshold. If you can't freeze enemies, especially if you're doing rituals and you get dogpiled, it's end of. It's the same issue that we have in end game sims, in when you just get too many stuns or you get frozen or you just take too much damage. We're running pretty low evasion. Sitting at 61% evasion, so if we're not crowd controlling, if charge staff isn't doing crowd control to distance enemies, we can have a serious problem. So, if anything, if you just click on the POB and stuff from here on out, do not run the ailment threshold map modifier. I've died to it twice. Okay, it's not runnable even with top end gear. So, take those, delete them, reforge them, whatever. If you get them, just do not run them. Every other map modifier seems fine. It's just those ones. Extra resistance we ignore. Extra enemy life, it's fine. We just chunk things down anyway. But that ailment threshold and preventing our ability to freeze at range, serious problem. Alright, that's the intro done. The build's actually pretty fun. Let's get into the passive tree and what we've changed there. As I said, I'm going to go over it in full in case this is the first video you're watching. If you want to see the bossing and delirium builds, video for that is linked in the description, as well as Discord and Twitch and all of those things. Anyway, let's get into the passives. So, skill tree then. If you want a deep dive into this skill tree, I suggest checking out the other video about the bossing and delirium side of things. I'm going to go through this pretty lightning fast. We're not going to dwell on the jewels or anything like that, but effectively we wanted to get to 5 power charges, so we've made sure we've taken these nodes here. Previously we were pathing out to take Essence of the Mountain, so we've taken back these 4 nodes and put them up here. For those of you familiar with the other build guide, that's the only change to the passive tree. For everyone else that maybe needs to see a lightning fast, we are effectively going for a heavy crit build, building into sunder my enemies so we ignore enemy resistances and don't need to worry about pen. We've got I Am the Thunder and I Am the Blizzard for extra damage, and we've got Lead Me Through Grace, which is giving us all of our spirit. Typically we are taking crit nodes as we go around the tree. You'll see us taking up to Moment of Truth, round to True Strike for the Jugular and Deadly Force, as well as Throat Seeker and Careful Assassin. I believe that's everything we've got for crit. Oh no, of course, Struck Through, Heart Stopping and Heartbreaking. All of that's pretty strong for the old crit side of things. For our elemental damage, we are taking all of the echoing nodes up here. This really gets us going. We've got the ability to ignite, chill, and shock, and we're doing that quite a lot. It's this jewel here that's giving us the extra fire damage, the Against the Darkness. We're running Resonance to ensure that we get power charges all the time. Running Eternal Youth so that we can heal ourselves, and running CI to make sure that we are Chaos Immune. So running a From Nothing. The From Nothing is giving us access to the elemental nodes over here. And we are running there'll be a Path of Building as well in the description, so if you need to just check this out on the Path of Building, then do so. And we're running a Controlled Metamorphosis, giving us access to one with the River, Serrated Edges, Manifold Method, and Enhanced Reflexes. Oh, and Coming Calamity. Other than that, we're running a pretty jewel-focused tree. I said I'll drop in the section that goes into the jewels in some detail. So the section going over that will be coming right up. But lightning fast, it's a crit base tree. We're heavy on the damage. Defense-wise, we're grabbing Spectral Ward, Mindful Awareness, think that might be... Oh, and yeah, Patient Barrier. There are 3 main defensive nodes. If you can't afford the jewels, then you can drop some of these jewels off and grab additional crit nodes, like down to Critical Exploit. If you want additional tank, then you can grab round to Melding as well. That's a pretty good tank node up here on this part of the tree. That's if you don't want to run this many jewels, and the build will work fine, as well as be on a bit more of a budget. Cats here being very distracting. But let's talk about the main part of this build that has changed, which is the skills. So, which is the skills? Wow. Terrible grammar. Terrible. Let's look at these skills. Let's look at what we've dropped and what we're looking at running for maps. So, these skill changes then, guys. This is where we have made the most changes to adapt to mapping. So, first things first, I'm going to address the question I know that's going to come up. We're not using Herald of Ice, because Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder, and that tech that proliferates those 2 explosions, kills all of your flicker targets, and you stop flickering around the map. The whole point of this build is to uncover the maps quickly, find the rares, kill the rares, get the maps done faster than it would if we were just running around at 35% movement speed. To do that, either Herald of Ice or Herald of Thunder had to go. Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder... we proc it more often. It's kind of helpful. You can pick one, but I went with Herald of Thunder. Right. That's why we're not running Herald of Ice, because it ruins Flicker Strike and it ruins the experience. So, other than that, what have we done with the skills? So again, Path of Building will be in there. It's going to be a separate Path of Building from the Delirium and Mapping. I think this is different enough that we should just keep them separate to avoid any sort of confusion. So, Path of Building, Maxroll in the descriptions, but... Temper Spell, we are running Overabundance, Immolate, Heavy Swing, Elemental Focus, and Font of Rage. Honestly, I've only used it for map bosses, or maybe in the middle of a ritual. Others don't use it, so it's just there. You do kind of need it for map bossing, so if you're doing maps, you bring it, because if you've got a map boss, you can just pop one bell down and the boss dies. Next up, we've got Ice Strike, so this is our bread and butter for clearing out rares, clearing out rituals, or if we're out of Flicker Strike charges, this is what we use to generate combo points and power charges in order to, power charges in order to start Flicker Striking again. Running Martial Tempo, Rage, Innovate, Conduction, and Heft. Because we want to use this to generate power charges quickly, I deemed having Martial Tempo on this probably better. It seems to work quite well. I click this between this and Flicker Strike. It seems to work better on Ice Strike, otherwise you have real problems when you stop moving in the middle of packs. Then we've got Herald of Thunder, so this is our single Herald that we're still running. Running Long Shot, Ice Spike, Glaciation, Lightning Mastery, and Magnified Effect. Its job is to freeze and crowd control and do a bit of damage to some of the targets out so that when we Flicker Strike round, we kill everything. Running Grim Feast, we're running this with a +3 minion neck for level 24. This is pretty much our primary source of staying alive. You want to be running it with those +3 skills. It's got precision in it. You don't need to run precision. You can save spirit. You can actually fit this at 265. In fact, you can fit this lower than that. Then we've got Flicker Strike. This is running Perpetual Charge. This gives it a 55% chance, along with the quality, to not use power charges. Yep, chance to not remove charges, 55%. So that's pretty good. That helps us flick around the map and cover more area. It's a bit random, but, you know, it's fine. Close Combat, it puts you right next to the enemy when you hit them, so you get all that damage. Primal Armament, Ambush, because we're jumping from enemy to enemy. They normally have full life for a Flicker Strike attack and Concentrated Effect. This gives it enough damage to one-shot rares in 24% and 45% Delirium maps with this build. Cast on Critical, with this gear set, sorry. Cast on Critical, we're running Eye of Winter. We've now switched over to Sniper's Mark. This is to help us generate more Frenzy charges. We don't need Voltaic Mark for mapping, but extra Frenzy charges definitely, which turn into power charges, definitely help us sustain Flicker Strike and help us get that Flicker Strike, help us get our power charges up to 5 when we stop moving a little bit quicker. With Chain, Deceleration, and Inspiration to keep that mana cost low. Then we've got Combat Frenzy. This is running Profusion, Clarity, and Herbalism. You can drop both of these as well, and then you can actually fit this with 140 Spirit. If you've got an unset ring, you can put Charge Infusion or something back on. I wouldn't recommend running a second Herald, though, unless it's Herald of Ash, maybe. Next up, you want Charge Staff with Persistence. If you don't have a Megalomaniac that gives you Maim support, swap Electrocute out for Maim. Culling Strike, Unbreakable, and Blind. We're not running Wind Dancer, so Unbreakable's moved to Charge Staff here. We really don't want to get stunned. And last up, we put on Blink. This is to give us some ability to move around the map. Flicker Strike takes us off. Loot drops behind us. It's nice to be able to blink back and pick it up, and then Blink around a bit. We haven't got Temporalis or anything, so it's got its reasonably slow cooldown. We run it with Ingenuity and Second Wind. Second Wind is optional. You can run it with Ingenuity and a slightly more casts, but I like Second Wind because you get 2 blinks after a little combat session, so that's kind of a personal preference thing. So that's what we've done. We've got Blink and we've got Flicker Strike on the build. This gives it quite a bit of movement. On the gear, I'm not going to dwell too much, but I recommend running Icebreaker and +3 of all minion skills on your amulet, especially if you're CI. That will make sure that you don't get frozen and that you get nice, big, juicy heals from Grim Feast, just to show off what that does. It goes from 454 to 299, so that's +3 skills is 50% healing again from Grim Feast, which is going to keep you alive, especially when you're flickering around. You do pick up the ghost, the Grim Feasts that spawn. So that's pretty helpful. Other than that, you want to be looking for your usual gear. High fizz damage, high crit, high attack speed. Staff, high energy shield. Helmet, energy shield, EV-based boots. You want Hand of Wisdom and Action with preferably the 1 to 12 lightning damage, but 1 to 10 and 3% is fine. Budget there. High Ingenuity as you can get. Closer to 80% the better. You want decent rings. One of the rings you want to have physical attack damage as mana on. It's going to help you sustain. Flicker Strike. We have a look at this. Does quite a lot of physical damage, so that will sustain our mana. You don't need a jacket anywhere near this good. This is what's giving us the 282 spirit. As I just said, you can actually fit this in with 245. 240. We can remove 35 of optional aura and fit this in with 240, so you can run a lot weaker chest than this. Rings, cold damage, any stats you need, resistances. And yeah, as I said, and a Melting Maelstrom Flask. These are really, really cheap now. Doesn't matter about the increased duration at all. Just pick up a cheap one. If you run out of mana and you end up in the middle of a pack with no mana, you can get your mana back, drop your bell down, deal with the problem. So that's it for the skills and the gear. Let's showcase this thing in a couple of maps. As I said earlier, we're going to showcase this in a map tile set that's crap for it, that's full of doors that you have to open, and then we're going to showcase it somewhere a bit more open. We'll do one ritual map, we'll do one breach map, and show that this thing is a little bit faster at mapping than it was. I'm still going to say, if you want a really fast mapper, you need to spend loads of money and you need to get a Temporalis and Blink, really. And then you can blink around the map and build around the fact that you've got like cast on, dodge, blink, and that's how you're going to get your fastest mapper. But this will do in a pinch if you don't want to level the second character and you want to be able to do all content with your endgame Ice Strike Monk build. Let's get on with these showcases. Alright, so we touched earlier on the sort of maps that are going to get the most out of this build. Something with lots of pack size, with increased pack size. Basically, you want enemies to be close together so that you can just flicker strike through them all. And so long as you can do that, then everything's fine. So we're going to jump into this Val Foundry, which is a pretty straight map. It's got some rooms off to the side, some doors that are going to get in our way. It's not going to be the perfect sort of map for this build. Doors are its enemy, but we've got... First thing we want to do, get charge staff up to 5. Now we can start flicker striking whenever we want. Oh, we can just blink for now. We might even be able to flicker round, which would be nice. Yeah, so we can flicker over, skip some of that shit. Flicker is pretty good for that. Enemies? Enemies in a row? Somewhere? Where the door is going to be the bane of our existence. We can just clear out a room. Go check for the rituals. Make sure we're not missing any. We would have done. The ritual open. You can use a bell here if you want. Kind of helps clear the rituals a little bit faster. Make sure we got charged staff up. See what we got from the rituals. Nothing yet. We can blink away a little bit. Got that. You hear loot, you do have to run back and grab it. This is why we've got blink, so that we can blink around. Nothing down there. Certainly faster than just running at movement speed, that's for sure. You can actually flicker between enemies and the bell as well. Quite fun. Make sure you keep charged staff up. But the only buff you need to manage should last for about 50 seconds with this build. So I swear it should be bouncing between more enemies than this. I think it doesn't want to bounce around. Ice Strike has a little teleport to it as well though, so it's not as good. Ritual Precursor Tablet, it's nice. I don't think I missed one earlier. I'm sure I didn't miss one earlier, right? That was Flicker Strike doing what it was supposed to there. That's not a Ritual Precursor Tablet that I missed, is it? It definitely go. No, it's just a normal Precursor Tablet. It's just right near the Ritual. Another Ritual Precursor Tablet. All the loot. Let's go finish this map off and then we will mess around with our ritual. Watch up that charge staff. There's definitely a lack of enemies. The doors are in the way. And there's just the boss left as well. I can't believe there's no more rares. I was thinking we might be able to flick down, but no. We have to use this like some sort of peasant, and I'm going to die to the lava. Don't flicker strike onto the boss. Don't flicker strike onto the boss. Oh, there's another thing down the end of here as well. Fantastic. Come on, mate. Powered by molten gold, no less. Ooh. Oh, nice. Sweet. Yeah, Flicker Strike, pretty good for moving around the maps. And yeah, let's check what we've got. So, we've got nothing. We've got nothing. Nothing again. The Sinistral Coronations. Terrible. Oh, come on. We got all those rerolls and see nothing. Anyway, this is Ritual. So this is why, if you want to go faster around maps and do Ritual, this is slightly faster than Peasant Walking. We've got Blink and we've got Flicker Strike. We'll try it in a more open map now, but that's how it goes around maps with doors. Doors are basically its bane, so this is what would be considered a pretty slow map for it, but we'll find an open one next. Hey guys, just a quick aside. I am now also available over on Twitch, so if you do prefer to consume your live stream content, I'm dual casting over there now. Yeah, it'd be great if you go follow the Twitches in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope that the Flicker Strike build suits you well. Right, this next map then we'll do a breach, but same sort of thing. Pack size, lots of pack size, increased number of packs. We're going to get our charge staff up and running, and then we're going to flicker about the map. It's got breach in it. I couldn't find a decent map base with a ritual on it that had a +1, so we'll do a breach for the second showcase, just to show I can do these as well. No. I don't just blink into a... Oh my god. Start in the wrong corner. Give me things, come on. Power charges, please. More power charges, please. More power charges, please. Honestly, I mean, just blow that up. Be okay. 5, probably. Yeah, fine, see. No problem. Any logbooks? Any logbook enjoyers? If I care about the artifacts at all at this point, I should probably take them off the loot filter. We're running Sniper's Mark for the extra power charges to try and keep up our power charges. There's a breach on this map somewhere. Yes, you want lots of enemies on the maps so that you can put the strike around. Sometimes it seems to use your power charges really, really quick, and I don't know why. Oh, there's the breach. Should be pretty good. Doing breaches.
Divine.
Ooh, divine. Alright, we ran out of enemies. But you can see it does the breaches quite well. We're not going to go loot the whole breach thing now. We're going to keep doing the map. Oh, another one. Fine. If you insist, game, we will do another breach. Sure, this is going to be fine. Probably try and grab the hands. I'm just going to turn the loot off for a sec. So yeah, it does quite well at clearing breaches. It's pretty good at that. Pretty good at exploring the map. As long as there's things to jump to. There we go, map complete. Pretty fast for a 2-breach map. Fast enough, certainly faster than just plodding around the map. So yeah, it's got a bit of speed. Don't get me wrong, it's not got the control of like a Blink Bomber or a Temporalis Spark Sorceress, but if you wanted to add some speed to this build to get around maps without running a second build, this is how I would advise you do it. Minimal changes, of course, to the tree. Quite a few changes to our skills. Would suggest that this is quite high budget to run it like I'm running it right now. you guys would like me to put together a budget build and showcase that on a lot smaller budget, we'll take off the power, we'll take off the ingenuity, we'll see if we can get something working. Then I'm happy to do that, let me know. But I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. And yeah, if you have, don't forget to hit that like button, it really helps and all of that. And hope to catch you on a stream or on another video soon. Have a good one.